This is a segment we filmed some time ago, and as some of you may be aware, I recently had a shoulder surgery. I'm sort of mining some old content so we can keep this going until we can film new things. And I'm finding there's some things we really should have put up before, didn't, and now this is an opportunity. So this segment is on tying, something that's best introduced at home in a controlled environment. Done right, it builds patience. Like anything else, practice is important. Don't wait till your first horse show or trail ride to tie your horse up. Here's what we do at home to handle that process.
Hi, I'm Herm Gailey. We were preparing to do a segment on groundwork today, which we will do. But as I went to get my young horse in to work him, I noticed, of course, he was tied up, which is what we do a lot. And I thought maybe a little segment on tying your horse up would be worthwhile. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at how they're tied, where they're tied, the reason they're tied, how long they're tied, and so on. And you can see, if we were to look over here, there's another one tied up on that post. And these colts will be out quite a bit. Now, I've been a little delinquent in doing this. They were tied a lot as yearlings, and I haven't tied them out much now that the springs come. Time to do that. Teaches them patience, teaches them to be tied. There are times in their lives that they need to be tied. Plus, they learn to stand still and relax. But as you can hear out there, there's a little emotion involved sometimes. Let's play that out here so that we don't go to a horse show, have to tie our horses to the trailer and have them digging a 9-foot hole in the ground and banging their head into the trailer. So I'm going to walk out to this colt and we're going to have a look at the way that tie out is set up. So you may notice that this is some distance away from the barn and the round pen, and it's right on the edge of my riding area. I'll tie young horses out here and then I'll drag my pen. And I'll go right by them with the drag and the tractor. And the first couple times, you know, you take your time working over to them, but it gives them an idea that they can get used to commotion. Or if we're riding horses and somebody's going around there, they get passed by other horses, they get used to the idea that they can be in the middle of a lot of commotion, but there's no big thing going on. And that antsing around like him, or like he's doing, that's exactly why he's tied. I'd be delighted if he just stood, cocked a hoof and waited, but that may be next week. He'll be tied the next few days and I think we'll see some progress. I wouldn't leave him all day, but I'll leave him for a while. He's been there probably an hour. He wishes he wasn't. He's going to test things, and that's the whole idea. Test it here. Test it here. So let's go out and have a look at how we have things set up. It's pretty straightforward. We put down rubber mats because if you repetitively tie a horse at the same place, you're going to find pretty quick you've got a big hole dug. They'll do that pretty effectively. So this prevents that, and you don't end up with mud. And plus, I believe that when you stand your horse in a hole, even if you fill it up, it almost invites them to paw. They'll paw here for a while, but after a bit, they'll get the idea that it's kind of a waste of time. And to help with that, I've made a habit with these younger horses in particular. I'll hang a hay bag and give them something to pick at. This doesn't need to be an unpleasant experience. Helps if they're hungry. And he's been tied there and picking for a while. And part of the problem is he was real quiet at first. He got the hay he wanted, and now he says, I'm done dinner, let's take off. Now, you'll notice he's tied to a board fence. That's okay, but he's not tied to one of these short posts. That'd be way too low and not that secure. We put a 6x6 post in, we cemented it in, and we have one of these tie rings where you can arrange it so if your horse pulls back, it gives. I'll do a little bonus segment on the tie ring and on a good handy breakaway knot you can tie if you want to tie your horse hard and fast. I don't typically leave my horses unattended, and if I have a horse that I really think is going to pull back, these are good, but they will pull long. They're intended to pull long, so you don't want your horse to gradually work that rope out if you're not there with him. You just need to be nearby. But once a horse is broke to tie, I will tie them solidly and go about my business and not worry about it much. So I use these tie rings. You'll notice that they're mounted about 5.5 feet off the ground, higher than the horse's natural eye height. That means if they pull back, they're pulling against a higher point. They won't hurt their neck, and they can't get the same leverage. So that's a lot more effective. This is a good solid eye bolt there. But again, if I tie the horse hard and fast, I'm going to tie him to the post, not to the tie ring, because if they really fly back, you'd be surprised. You think that eye bolt strong is no match for a horse. They'll pull it out. So typically, I will, if I'm going to tie them fast, hard and fast, I'll tie them directly to the post. So we'll also do a very short bonus segment on the tie ring and on tying your horse hard and fast with a breakaway knot. So that's what we do with these guys, and they spend a lot of time tied up. And it teaches them an awful lot. And the nice thing is I'm not investing a whole lot of energy in it. And the funny thing is, it makes your horse glad to see you. They're kind of happy to see you when you come back over. Give them a little stimulation, a little affection, and plus, by and by, I'm going to take him away from there. You become a source of great relief to them when you do that for them. So that's another benefit to tying up. They don't know that you're the same bad guy who tied him there. All they remember is the end of the story. You came and saved them. Thank you, they say. And I'll take all the thanks I can get from a horse. That goodwill will help you later on. So that's why we tie horses. That's how we tie them, and that's where we tie them. These mats are okay. They're kind of cheap mats. They came from Tractor Supply. They were on sale. They've been pretty durable. They're a little bit slick when they're wet, surprisingly. It's rubber, you wouldn't think that. That's something that I've been a little careful with. But overall, it's been way better than having them down on the dirt. So that's the deal with tying. Give it a try. Tie to something secure, tie to something safe, tie a place where your horse isn't going to get tangled up. Don't tie to a pipe panel that's not secured. Don't tie to a gate. Don't tie to a wire fence. But tie to at least a good board fence, better yet a wall. So that's a bit about tying. I'm sure you'll see more horses tied if you look around the place. Come back and see us.